We're on the west bank of the Nile, and we're at the mortuary temple of Ramses II. Now, Ramses II is a candidate for the Pharaoh of the Exodus. One of the characteristics, the unique things about this mortuary temple to Ramses II is that piece of granite right there. That's what remains of the great statue of Ramses II. Scholars look at that and they assess that and they say, if that statue is consistent with other Egyptian statues in terms of its structure, then that would have been the largest statue that we know of on God's green earth. Look at this, a solid piece of granite. Here's his shoulder, right here. Here's what's left of his ear, right here. His face looking up to the sky, as it were, so he's fallen backwards. Absolutely huge. This mortuary temple was magnificent. Magnificent. Here's Ramses holding the crook and the flail, two shepherd instruments. Come. Feel us go up? Look at the columns. You've got to see this. What I want to show you is this right here. And it's got a little base right here. Sometimes you'll see this laying on its side. Okay? More often than not, you will see this hieroglyph with hieroglyph contained in it. This shape right here is called a cartouche. Say cartouche. Cartouche. Now, a cartouche is a picture where everything inside the cartouche is ma'at. Say ma'at. What is ma'at? Order. Inside the cartouche is ma'at. Order. More than order, justice. More than justice, fairness. More than fairness, everything inside the cartouche is the way it's supposed to be. Outside of the cartouche is chaos. Not the way it's supposed to be. This is a cartouche. Inside is ma'at, order, justice, the way it's supposed to be. Now, sometimes you'll find cartouches without anything in it. So something is yet to be written in it. In this cartouche, and every cartouche that you'll see that have hieroglyphs written inside of it. What's written inside of it is the hieroglyph name of the Pharaoh. In this cartouche is the name of Ramses. In other words, who is the one who brings ma'at to you? Who is the one who provides what it ought to be, the way it should be? Is Ramses. Is Ramses. Now, where did the Egyptians get this idea of a cartouche? Egypt itself is a cartouche. Egypt is fertility, prosperity, life, influence. Egypt itself is the way it should be. And I think they got the idea of cartouche from their world. The question is, and see, for the Egyptian, if Egypt is the Cartouche, who's the one who brings Ma'at? In this case, Ramses II. I'll tell you this. Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, is a Cartouche. Inside the garden are the way the things ought to be. God walking with the man. But the man and the woman violate their relationship with God, and they are thrown out of the garden into a world of thorns where things are not the way they should be. Cartouche. I think the Church of Jesus Christ is a Cartouche. Inside the church, that's why there should be no sexual immorality, no impurity, no lust, no evil desires, because that's the life you once lived. But you are to put to death all such things like anger, malice, rage, filthy language from your lips. For you died, your life is now hidden in Christ with God, so that when Christ appears, you too will appear, and you will appear in glory, and you will be living. You are living life the way God designed it to be lived. My question is what's the name in your Cartouche? And the name in my Cartouche is Jesus. He's the one who brings not Ma'at, he's the one who brings Shalom. Now, I want you to hear this. The Lord bless you, and the Lord keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give to you his Shalom, his peace. You remember those words? That's the Aaronic benediction. Do you know what words precede those words? This is what God says. This is how you are to put my name on them. Now that language of putting my name on them is, in my opinion, language of putting name on the Cartouche. The people of God are God's Cartouche. And the name on us is the name of God. For me, I picture this and I see what God gives. Shalom. Now, Ma'at is order. Egypt is Ma'at. There is order in Shalom, but Shalom is not Ma'at. Shalom is so much more. Ma'at is order based upon your circumstances. Shalom is peace, irregardless of your circumstances. Shalom is even though I'm in the wilderness, even though I'm in a wild place, I have shalom. Not because of my circumstances, but because of my God. And in the Cartouche, in God's church, among his people, there is no Greek or Jew, barbarian or Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and he is in all. In his Cartouche, in his church, is shalom. Where every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. That's shalom. Where there's no more hunger, there's no more disease, there's no more death, there are no more tears. It's the way God wanted it to be.